All right, have and have not fans, and I'm going to be honest here. I find myself doing a lot of videos after the, I wouldn't even call it the finale. Let me just say the last episode we got a couple weeks ago. Let's just say after episode 10. A lot of the videos on my channel, and I just want to reiterate the fact that I do not hate this show. I mean, I feel like if you've been on this channel long enough, you know that I'm not above sugarcoating anything out. Praise the shows, not just the house, not just have and have nots, but the pains of loving who is wrong. I'll praise it during the times where it does great episodes, where they do things like character development, surprise us with these cliffhangers and twists. But then I'm also not above talking about the nitty gritty of, okay, this episode wasn't this good, or here's what the season did wrong. Because again, I'm just a fan like everyone else. I don't work for Tyler Perry Studios, so I'm just pretty open and honest with everybody. So with that being said, this video, I don't want to have it portrayed in a negative light, but when I was doing my top 5 complaints for the haves and the have-nots this season, I even mentioned in that video that there were about 200 comments I had to go through on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook to compile a list of the top 5 complaints that that viewers had. And it did kind of upset me that I saw maybe a dozen or so comments of fans who flat out said I quit watching the show maybe after 3 or 4 episodes in this season so far because it was just dragging, too many commercials. They hyped it up like this car accident with Veronica and Melissa was going to be a big thing, but it really wasn't, and I have to agree. But yeah, a lot of people I know just say, you know, they found other shows they're more into, like Black Lightning, This Is Us, and to be honest, those are some pretty good shows. Black Lightning, it's only maybe 9 episodes in, and it is definitely a show where, number one, you do not have to be a comic book junkie or a nerd to follow it. You can be an everyday person and watch the episodes and really follow along with great story, the character development. Pretty much what the haves and the have-not used to be, minus the superpowers. But I just wanted to do this video to ask the question, are you losing interest in the show? Because as I said earlier, there have been people who straight up said they quit the show because it just doesn't do it for them anymore. Again, too slow of a plot, nothing gets resolved, the same dialogue, same story. Why it's high again. Candace is going back to prostitution and pimping. Veronica's up to another crazy scheme. And I hate to admit it, but I do agree with some of those points there. But aside from people who said they quit the show, you know, like they just quit watching, there have been others who said, you know, I have been my interest in the show has began to decline over the past few episodes. And I do think that is consistent amongst a good number of people, even people who didn't respond to my question about what were some of your complaints this season. I do feel that a lot of fans, because of how vocal they've been on social media, and I mentioned this in several videos before, after episode 10 aired a couple of weeks ago, I know that like Catherine, Hannah, David, and a couple of other cast members had to go online to pretty much reassure the fans that, hey, this episode that aired, this wasn't the mid-season finale. This episode that aired, it looks like they edit some of the stuff out. Like this episode that aired, I know, you know, it has people upset, but don't worry, the show's coming back May 1st. That's when the real like mid-season finales and season finale will show up. So they pretty much had to help as much as they could quell the fire, because I had never, after any episode or finale, seen that many people online so upset. And as I said before, I didn't really go into this episode or that episode with high hopes because it was only episode 10. Calling it a finale was a mistake, especially if the season was going to be more than just 20 episodes. So I went into this episode not expecting much at all, but I think the biggest thing that fans were complaining about, and for a valid reason, was there was no legit cliffhanger. It was just Veronica pulling up to the house and looking through a window, and we don't even know what she saw. We can assume that it was maybe David and Erica having sex because they were kissing on the foot of the stairs, so she probably just saw them kissing or having sex because they could have been doing it right there on the stairs, and no furniture there aside from that bed, you know, assuming it finally got finished. But since David left the house, with the Jeffrey situation. I don't even know if he got to finishing that bed yet. I might have been mistaken if I forgot, but we can just assume they're having sex on the floor. But hey, we'll just have to wait and see. But I just wanted to make the video kind of as an encouragement, like, hey, don't quit the show yet. I mean, I understand how and why many people are frustrated. They don't, I mean, I remember a time where, even I felt like I had to just drop. It was like the ice cream man or, UPS delivering something at the front door. You would just stop everything and just pay attention to what was going on there. Go chase after the ice cream truck, run to the door to see what package was left from you for you from Amazon Prime, or in this case, oh man, it's 8:55. Let me finish, put dinner on the plate, put the kids to bed for school, sit down, watch the haves and the have-nots so I can tweet to everybody and watch the show. I don't really get that feeling anymore, and that's a sad thing because that's what I really do on the channel more than anything else. I review the show, go over the episodes, but it really is almost like, the CW. For people who watch those shows, you can relate. You got like Flash, Arrow, Supergirl, Legends. Before Black Lightning came around, let me just talk about those 4 shows. I remember, I would watch all those shows, because of the continuing stories. And I remember some shows began to lose their luster, like Season 2, in my opinion, was... it was bad. Like, I did like the first 2 episodes where Superman was there, but after Mon-El showed up and whatnot, I just got, But watching Supergirl felt like a chore, as aside from a good way to start the week because it came on Monday night. Same thing with the haves and the have-nots. It got to the point where, oh God, I gotta watch the episode, I gotta do videos on it. It felt more like a chore because for the most part, I'd say about 80 or 95% of my predictions were right, because of the fact that they keep repeating the same dialogue and nothing really happens in one single episode. So it's not like you have to drop everything, run to your TV and watch it, because, you're probably talking with somebody in real time or tweeting with a friend or Facebooking. And it's just like, hey, did you see the episode? No, what happened? Oh, well, Hannah and Catherine are talking about the same thing, and then Benny just, sleeping around, and Candace in jail. Again, no real driving factors in the season so far. So maybe it has to do with the fact that Tyler Perry's leaving in 2020, so he's not putting his all in the show due to the fact that he has all these other projects in the works. Not to mention, I do remember reading somewhere that he's already written a script for Viacom, the company he's moving towards in 2020 after leaving OWN. So I feel like, he's probably like, when it's it's Friday when I'm recording this, so I feel like a lot of people can relate to this. It's 4:45, you clock out at 5 o'clock. You're not doing anything those last 15 minutes. You're just ready to go. It's like, man, I'm about to clock out of here and I won't see this place again until Monday morning. So I'm just going to coast the last 15 minutes. I don't want to believe it, but in some ways I can see that Tyler Perry might be coasting his way until the end of 2020. I really hate to say that. I really do. But I feel like maybe it's gotten to the point where, I first got hired to, when you first get hired to a job, you give it like 150%. But then as time goes on, it's like you lose interest because you want to be somewhere else, or you already have another job lined up. So you don't really give a crap about your current situation. So maybe that's what's going on. I really don't want to think that, because Tyler Perry, at least when he first came out with this show, as well as other plays and other TV shows, it seemed like he put his heart in everything from the beginning. But once he got too much on his plate, he just kept dividing his attention in such a way where he couldn't really focus on one thing and give it enough quality, because he has a large quantity of productions out there, whether it be movies, TV series and whatnot, yet the quality has diminished as the seasons have went on. So just wanted to wrap things up by saying, if you've given up on the show, I recommend sticking with it, because 2020 is going to be here before you know it. We're looking at maybe a year and some change, maybe a little less than 2 years. So I feel like I've ridden this bus from episode 1 to the present. I might as well ride it out. So hopefully the back half of this season will reignite the passion of getting people to watch the show again. But as they said in that trailer, this is going to be the most can't miss a single episode season of the Haves and the Have Not yet. That's a pretty big statement, especially when the first 10 episodes really didn't do it for a lot of fans. I can't remember the last time I've seen this many people turned off to a show based off the few handful of opening episodes. So let me know in the comment section below. Have you lost interest in the show? Have you legit quit watching the show? Or are you like me where you're just going to ride it out because you come this far?